welcome to the Alex Wilson Show. I'm your host, Alex Wilson. We've got Ryan Sinclair and Casey Flinn joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for having us on the show.
Thank you for having me, Alex. I appreciate it.
And on the show, we'll be talking about everything under the sun, so I am so appreciative that you guys are joining in to listen to this on YouTube. That will be our main source for uploading content. And the first thing I want to talk about tonight is the suicides. All of these celebrities who are killing themselves. It is outrageous. What do you guys think?
I mean, the first thing I want to go over is they all seem to, it's not any different death. They all seem to be doing the same death. They're all hanging themselves, and I find that very strange.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's true. They all have. I mean, so many have been. How many are we up to now? 10, 20, 30 in this year? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Well, suicide alone is 45,000 a year in just the United States.
Which is horrible. That's why, I mean, Logic made that soundtrack. Because suicide's so out of control right now.
The one that hit home, I mean, honestly, Anthony Bourdain the other day hit home pretty hard. I watched his show so much, and it is so tragic. I believe he was depressed, but, I mean, they've all hung themselves, all of them. I mean, Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, Robin Williams. I mean, that's a lot of rope. So they're all hanging themselves, all of them?
So Robin Williams, I kind of understand, because he has been known to have depression for a long time. Kate Spade didn't have that. She didn't have the depression. She didn't have any. From what I know, she wasn't medically diagnosed as depressed, where Robin Williams was. And it's very strange that someone was talking to her right beforehand, and she was planning a trip, and she was buying the tickets, and she was super excited. And then they find her dead in her apartment the next day. Like, it doesn't all come together.
And that's the same thing with Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell was they couldn't believe he did it.
Yeah, no one could believe I will say his last interview, he had a cry for help. He was actually saying, like, when he's home alone, he has demons inside of him.
Well, he was on apparently some medication that had suicide effects, side effects. The medication he was on.
Oh, the side effects.
I believe it was depression medication he was on, but the side effects for the medication leads to suicidal thoughts.
Right, which I've gone through when
I was about to say suicidal thoughts to actual suicide actions.
Correct. I wasn't in the room with any of these guys. I don't know if it was a giant cover-up, if all of it was BS, or if it actually happened, but there's a lot of famous celebrities who are killing themselves.
Well, the thing is like, again, Kate Spade, and people bring up that, she was bored of her job and everything. It's like, it's not that she just sits there and does nothing. She is the main designer. Like, have you not gone to a mall, a big mall, not a little mall, a big mall, and seen a Kate Spade? Kate Spade watches, Kate Spade purses, Kate Spade. I mean, Kate Spade's everywhere. I knew who Kate Spade was. I was like, oh my God, Kate Spade. Like, I knew who that was, and I don't buy purses. Right. So she was a big name, and she was huge into New York. She could have whatever she wants. And, I mean, when it came to... She had all the resources that she needed to get help. I mean, people would probably do it for free. It's Kate Spade.
Right.
Yeah. And but they did say with her that she was fixated on what Robin Williams did, and the fact that she... for weeks on end, was fixated at the fact that he hung himself, and she was fascinated by that.
I was going to say, so she was like really looking into it, like, oh my God, that'd be fun, or wow, I can't believe Robin Williams killed himself. I really liked him. He was a great guy.
Well, it's weird to me. I would not do it, but
well, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, was she fascinated? Like, oh my God, I can't believe he did it. Like, why did he do it? Blah blah blah. Or was she more into, oh my God, he hung himself. What is that like? I want to do it.
I've heard it's contagious.
Well, I mean, I don't get too off topic, but I definitely, I mean, the Anthony Bourdain one that just happened, the guy was a millionaire, and most of these famous people, they are millionaires, and I mean, he had the whole world. I mean, I know he was an alcoholic, and CNN had, I mean, his hands were so deep in CNN, maybe there's something there that we don't know about.
And that's the part I want to bring up, too, because suicide happens every day. It doesn't matter if it's a star or not. Suicide is out of control in this country. Suicide is out of control in Japan as well. Japan and China, like, they have really huge suicide rates. It's really crazy, but America is slowly creeping up. It's why music artists, and they're pushing to get people to stop suicide by pushing the 1-800 number, which is great, and that's a positive thing. Like, we need to stop people from doing that. So it's not just because they're stars, it makes it a big deal. Like, it's happening every day. But it's crazy, like, think 3-4 years ago. Do you remember this many stars killing themselves?
No, not at all.
No.
Ever.
No. What's going on? And you said that she had his hands so deep in CNN. Like, was he
Well,
about...
CNN, I mean, they featured his show. He was on CNN. I mean, when you start getting into big news stations and they're featuring your show as an advertisement, I mean, that you're pretty into Hollywood, and you're into the news and everything. You're on every aspect. You're pretty famous. And for the fact of you just hang yourself, I mean, you're worth millions. I know he had depression issues. I know he was an alcoholic. I know he had his inner demons, but maybe... How do we know there wasn't a closed-door meeting between CNN wanting him to take his show a different direction? He said no. They killed him.
And that's what I think, too, is that there's more to this that we don't know. There's definitely something happened where there was something just too overwhelming for him that he couldn't deal with it anymore because he was, I don't think it was the drinking. I think there was just something, either he was too overwhelmed or something happening in the background that we're never going to find out. We're never going to know.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep happening.
And I don't think that's something we'll ever know. I absolutely agree that so many, Robin Williams was hard. There was a lot of them that were really hard. But like I said, they all have their own demons and their own issues that we don't know about. But the ones that freak me out the most is the ones that the family members they couldn't believe it. They're it's just unbelievable, unfathomable that they killed themselves. And the fact that they all hung themselves... they didn't shoot themselves. They didn't jump off a bridge. They hung themselves. Oh. So, Casey, why is it always a hanging?
I don't know. To me, I'd be terrified to hang myself. If I was going to go, I would shoot myself.
But, they don't choose a bridge. They're not ODing on Tylenol. They're not cutting themselves. They didn't use an axe from the shed. They're all hanging themselves, which it's kind of crazy that... 10 people in the last couple of years hung themselves. That's their method they're going out.
So I want to bring up Chester Bennington as well, is that they were coming out with a new soundtrack, Linkin Park.
Like a new album.
Yeah,
new song,
brand new, like everything. Like the whole band got back together. It's crazy. And to think that he was doing that, and then he killed himself. Like he was on top of the world again. Linkin Park was coming back. Their voice, everything changed. And the other thing that, I don't know. I just think it's a little crazy.
It could be the fact that pharmacy is such a big thing now, and that suicide's also going up. There could be a correlation between the two.
So the only way to actually make money is to have famous people knocked off, stage it as a suicide, so suicide hotline numbers go up, depression medication goes up, and more people are using those services, and they're making more money.
I will say this.
Is that too deep?
No, when we talk about pharmaceuticals, normally I just eat vegan stuff, to make myself feel good. But there's been a time where I was pretty low, and I was taking Xanax to calm myself down. And when I was taking Xanax, I felt like I really didn't care about anything. The minute I came off that, I was very depressed. I mean, I was calling people, telling them all sorts of crazy stuff. So I can feel like coming down from a drug that could cause suicide. So, in my opinion, maybe the pharmaceutical...
Well, that's what I'm saying, anti-depression medicine. So, the only way for the media and, the fake news and all these big corporate outlets to get us, the zombies' attention, us as zombies, is to have a famous person commit suicide, right? I'm not quoting, suicide, but they weren't. Maybe it was staged. And it's all a cover-up to... I'm not trying to get too deep into conspiracy, but maybe it is all a cover-up to push more anti-depression medication on us to get us addicted to it, which they make more money.
Well, you brought up the 1-800 number. I don't think it's a 1-800 now because they are so understaffed.
There's a suicide hotline.
There is a suicide hotline.
It just spiked.
They are so understaffed for the suicide hotline.
That's not a good thing to have understaffed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had McDonald's understaffed...
They're putting people on hold.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's horrible.
Like, I'm going to jump off a bridge. Can you hold on for a second?
Please
That's
hold.
the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Would you like to hold without hold music or with the classical?
I know. Like, they're like steps away from walking off a building, and they're like...
You can't have a 17-minute hold time.
That's
if
like
you
you
want to
calling
suicide.
911 because someone's breaking your house, and they're like, 911, can we put you on hold? Like, when you call a pizza place? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, every 15 minutes, somebody is doing it. And right now, as we speak, someone's doing it.
I mean, if they put me on hold for as long as Comcast puts me on hold, I'd kill myself. It would make it worse. It would escalate the situation. I'd hang myself with the telephone.
Because a
cord.
lot of
would not
people
feel important at that point.
Exactly. A lot of people who are going to kill themselves don't feel important. They don't feel like anyone cares. And now we have the suicide prevention hotline.
Hold on, please hold, sir.
Yeah, the last thing to help them which is great. The last thing that can help them that they know, just put someone on hold.
I wonder if they offer a survey after the call. Would you like to take the survey? Press 2. If I helped you today, I wonder if there's a survey after the call.
I'm sure there is something.
I've never called. We'll have to call sometime on the show. I've never actually called the line, but I wonder if there is a survey.
I was about to say, doesn't something happen if you call that line?
I'm not sure, but I'm not going to find out.
If you're not really feeling that way. And
is that right? Really?
I think there is a fine. Like if you abuse the system.
That's just like if you
But they're
call
putting
the
people on
police.
hold. Because there's not enough operators.
I know. There's not enough operators, so they're trying to hire more people. But the problem is that they are putting people on hold, and they're like, well, again, no one cares. Like even the suicide prevention hotline doesn't care, and it's supposed to be there to help someone in
any time of need.
Absolutely. And if we have such a huge spike, why are we having such a huge spike right now? Like, why are people more?
I don't know.
The economy's a lot better. There's jobs.
There is jobs. Absolutely.
Money. Even McDonald's is paying more. Like that's how bad they want people.
Gas is going up though. Gas has gone
back down.
Is it?
Gas
Again?
is
It spiked. It spiked.
It did spike, but it's back down to it's about to be below 260, where we are right now.
Wow.
But do we know the future forecast of that?
I mean, it's always going to fluctuate. I mean, but again, I always tell people you have to think of, are you really saving that much money? I know it's a spike, but every 10 gallons, let's just say every 10 gallons, it's a 6-cent spike. For 10 gallons, it's 60 cents.
Wow. I mean, I don't want to get too off topic. We are going to talk about some other things today. I'm still in shock about Anthony Bourdain. I used to watch the show all the time. So, I mean, that one for me was huge, and I'm sure you guys are thinking the same thing. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about all of the stuff that's going on with the famous suicides. I mean, that's what's going on, and they're all hanging themselves, most of them, which is unbelievable. But what are you going to do?
I think for someone to really look into this, it's going to have to be someone. I mean, Robin Williams was big.
Huge.
Chester Bennington, anyone, Kate Spade. Kate Spade is kind of hit and miss. I mean, Kate Spade is very popular, but I mean, not everyone thinks Kate Spade. So
right.
I think it has to be someone big and powerful, like the guy Bill Gates. Like all of a sudden, Bill Gates. Now people are going to start wondering, like, what Bill Gates is the third richest man in the world? What happened here?
Right. Absolutely. So. Another change of topic. It's Saturday, and actually, the rainy season has been crazy down here in Florida. We're all in Florida. I don't know where all the viewers and listeners are from, but we're in sunny Florida, and it hasn't been too sunny. It's been raining like crazy. So, and the other day, I mean, just lightning strikes alone, I thought we were going to die.
Well, I was driving down the street, and this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. There was clouds behind me, and I was trying to beat it home. And a thunderbolt, where there was sunny sky and everything, came down, blew a transformer right in front of me.
During the sun.
And the very sunny. Which they say lightning bolts can strike down at any time. Like, there doesn't have to be a cloud in the sky for a lightning bolt to strike down. But it was that same day that we were talking about. We were going to go to the one store.
Correct, yeah.
And we were like, forget this, because lightning bolts were dropping every 2 seconds. And I think one hit a house. And that's when we were like, forget it. And we turned around and came home. And what's scary is in Florida, we were in that drought.
Right.
And now we're oversaturated.
It's been raining every day, Casey.
It's been raining every day.
When we were out, I literally, the lightning bolts are coming down. I mean, I thought Jesus was mad at us. It was insane.
Yeah. I went to my car the other day, and it was flooded. So, it's weird that we're in June, and it feels like August.
We've already had 2 tropical storms, if I'm correct.
Another thing I noticed that's really weird is they're building gas stations all along 82 right now, and they're trying to push it because hurricane season's coming up. And when there's a hurricane in Florida, everybody's got to hype that up.
It doesn't matter how many gas stations there are.
There's not enough.
There's not enough gas. Like, there's never going to be.
So, back to the weather being crazy. I got something kind of funny for you guys, sort of crazy. But
all right, what do we got?
Well, from the time, so just to let you guys know. So, if you live 80 years, you have a rough estimate of being struck by lightning, 1 in 3,000th chance of being hit by lightning if you live till you're 80. So I mean that's a pretty slim chance, 1 in 3,000th. Yeah. I'm sure shark bites are higher,
but it's better than winning the lottery.
Right.
By like,
I'm not sure. What are the odds on winning the lottery?
8 times more likely, I believe, to get struck by lightning
than win the lottery.
Correct.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's like 10 times more likely to get murdered.
A couple.
I don't know about that anymore.
36 years old and 28-year-old, a couple, man and a female,
okay,
in Western Germany.
Okay.
They pulled off the interstate and decided to kiss and cuddle in their car during a storm. They decided to get out of the car, go into the woods, where they decided to strip naked. And, I mean, you guys have imaginations of what they were going to do. It wasn't play slots.
I thought they were going to play with the dirt.
Yeah, right? Yeah, they were building a treehouse. They were building a treehouse.
They were looking for science.
Right. Fossil exploring.
Exactly.
They were so carried away, they didn't even stop when the thunder and lightning started.
I can already see where this story's going.
Lightning bolt struck them and killed them.
Both of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe God was not happy with them doing that.
And there's stories like that all over the place. Just of all kinds of, there's stories where, like you said, a lightning bolt actually came down and during the day. And I've heard stories where lightning bolts have came down and hit scuba diver tanks under the water.
Yeah, did you hear about the story of the guy who got struck twice in the same moment?
I would just retire. Go home. I mean, if you get struck twice in one day.
Yeah, he was out golfing. He got struck. It wasn't enough. God was already pissed and hit him again. And he survived.
He got struck twice in one day.
He got struck
Well, the school that me and him graduated at, they named the football field from the boy who got struck by lightning at the football field.
Yeah, he was walking back to,
It was after
the
practice.
lockers. The lockers.
So the closest I've ever been to a lightning strike was, I've seen a transformer explode, in front of me, but I've never actually, seen one come down.
I think the closest it's ever been is sitting out on the patio, and you can hear it on top of the house.
I would change my pants. They would have to be.
When you see the flash and the bolt noise at the same time, it's close.
Wow.
Yeah.
When it goes blam, right with the light.
Yeah. If you,
Like,
if you
get
get
inside
blinded for a
now.
second, then
Okay.
you know that you better run inside.
Wow.
That's why I don't understand. You'll see people, it's raining, and they have their cell phones up. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You want to rip it out of their hand and throw it at them. Like, bro, what are you doing?
I would need to change my pants.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, the weather's weird right now, I think, in my opinion.
I don't know. We already had 2 hurricanes,
Yeah.
and last year was bad. Hurricane season was bad. We had a lot of hurricanes, only one hit. I honestly feel that we are going to get hit big time.
And that hurricane, I was freaking out. It was supposed to come here, and the news, they hyped that situation up, and it was probably just to sell more stuff from the stores and gas and everything.
Which they
Well,
sold
did you
everything.
go? I was about to say,
everything.
did you go to a store? They were beating each other down for some items.
It was a zombie apocalypse.
It was the worst thing in the world.
It's amazing that one hurricane can do that
Right.
to the society.
People were killing each other over Lunchables. It was insane.
Stores were cleared out.
Yeah, and then we had that problem when we were in Ocala.
And we evacuated, which I almost wish I would have stayed. Evacuating was harder
We
than
could-
staying, I
But
think.
the news was saying, your house is getting leveled.
You're done.
You will die if you stay.
I
So
left my street bike. That's how you know, how much they were hyping
we had to
this.
get out. And I was
We had to
surprised
get
you
out of
guys
here.
evacuated. I was gone. I went to Macon.
And what was that one guy? What's that weather guy name when he shows up? Disaster's coming.
I can't remember his name.
What
I'm going to
is
have
his
to look
name?
that psycho
What
up.
is that guy's
But
name?
he was here.
He was here.
I know, and people were more freaked out that he was here. He's the guy who straps himself to a pole
And just hopes for the best.
It's an F5 tornado, guys. I'll be fine.
Yeah, like a Volvo's flying by. I'm like, I got this.
Oh, he's the guy that wore the military outfit? Because there was a guy, I was watching the news from Georgia.
No, he's a very famous Weather Channel guy.
He's from the Weather Channel.
His name is Jim Cantor.
Yeah, Jim Cantor. When Jim Cantor shows
Is it
up in your-
Cantor E or Cantor? I think it's just Cantor.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But when he shows up in your neighborhood,
You run.
You leave. You go to the next neighborhood because whatever's happening is going to be gone in like an hour.
Wow. Yeah, I know he was here, and that's
But when I watched his,
pretty insane.
because I was chit chatting with the people that were still here because we left, and watching his news interview, what they were telling me, like, oh, it's not that bad. My power hasn't flicked off yet. And you see him like, hey, it's so windy and blah, blah, blah. And he's like throwing branches in the air and they're like losing signal. But I was talking to one of my buddies. He's like, no, I still have power.
Yeah. They hyped that up even on
There was
TV.
someone who was watching football games during the hurricane, apparently.
Exactly. And he was making it like...
So
like-
they're... I don't mean to get too crazy, but they're talking about 9 hurricanes this year.
I think
5 of them being major, almost Category 5s. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to have stronger hurricanes this
Well,
year?
just think...
I absolutely.
Just think, the other day I was driving in my car, and I had pretty decent AC in my car. It's a brand new car. I couldn't get the car cold enough for about 10 minutes because it was so hot outside. It was over 100 degrees.
That's fine.
And it's June.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't even hit summer yet, and it's over 100 degrees. It's...
Well, the waters are hotter, and that's what they're saying. They're saying the waters are hotter over near Africa, which is where all the hurricanes are formed, over in that ocean area in the Atlantic.
And we don't know where these are going to go, but they're going to be big.
I think this year is going to be bad. I think rainy season started early. I think the weather's been hotter this year.
Yep.
Even humidity's been almost 99%.
Oh, it's been horrible.
It feels like August,
And,
and mosquitoes are already making nests in my.
I mean, we're
buckets
already
outside.
like the 7th layer of hell every day. It's so hot. And it's been raining earlier in the day, and the storms are intense. I mean, it's like D-Day outside.
The thing is I took a step outside, no lie, and I was like really worried for a second because I took a step outside, and I was already sweating because I was coming from the AC outside, and I was like, this is the most unbelievable thing I've ever. I was like, I remember Florida summers, and I don't remember it being this bad.
Well, at least not until August. This feels like August weather to me because August has always been the worst. It's the humid. You know, my dad always used to say that too. He's like, the worst time is August. It's when the humidity really sets in. I'm like, this feels like August
This
now.
definitely
It's
feels
pretty
like
bad. And I mean, I have to eat ice cream walking to my car, so I don't,
Yeah. Well,
It's
good
that
luck. Did
hot.
the ice cream survive it to the car? Did
No,
it just
'cause I
melt
ate
and
it.
hand you
I
crank?
ate it.
Oh,
Exactly,
okay.
exactly.
I ate it before it
If
melted.
not, I won't make it. It's so hot.
I feel bad for people who drive black cars. Like, seriously.
But
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens with the hurricanes and stuff. We'll see what happens this year. Either way. And who knows? Maybe the government's manipulating the hurricanes. What do you think about that? What do you think about government weather manipulation?
Well, that
So what is that? What
do
is
you think
that?
they're making them? Do you think they're making the hurricanes? controlling
Do I
them?
think they're heating up the earth a little?
Well, it might not be the government. It could
Wouldn't
be
be the Earth.
corporations.
They would
could
only
be
have to-
Walmart. Walmart can afford some planes. Walmart can do that.
Walmart could buy a hurricane. They could buy Africa. They could
Yeah.
buy anything.
We need to buy her a hurricane to go towards Florida and have all the rich people from Naples and Miami buy everything out of our store.
Okay,
and
so
panic it.
what comes from destruction? What do you do when something's destroyed? You have to rebuild it.
You have to rebuild it. You also, before a storm, you prepare. Because they tell us to prepare.
So you clear the shelves out.
Yep.
So you're
Buy more
spending
than you
money.
need.
And then to clean up the mess, spending money. And then to, which
Refill.
creates jobs. And then, and then to rebuild a house or restock everything, more money.
Yep. Insurance companies have to dish out all the money that they've been holding. So
Well, we already know
it's
about
money
HARP.
making.
We know about HARP. HARP's, I think it's in Alaska.
Well, we know
HARP.
that they're doing
I was
something.
going to say, yeah, I would definitely take a look at that. But I know that ever since, what does it make that really loud sound when
HARP?
it kicks on?
HARP?
Yeah.
HARP is it's the center that I believe it's in Alaska, and there's giant rods that go up into the atmosphere, and they're sending radio waves out into the atmosphere, which they say can control weather. If you send enough radio waves into the atmosphere, it apparently can create storms and control it.
I mean, I can understand that. I mean, anything can be.
They say it's a conspiracy theory, but why is that facility there? It's a real facility. It's not a cartoon. This isn't Bugs Bunny. It's a real facility. Why was it invented? And apparently, I mean, they even say it was invented for sending radio waves into the atmosphere. So, I mean,
I mean, I've also heard that HARP, like you can't be under it or near it when it's on, because it'll kill you.
I haven't heard. I don't know. Maybe.
I think that's HARP.
It's pretty.
Yeah, like that.
pretty
You
loud.
can't be anywhere near because it's hot. One, and the electrical. Like if you're standing under one, it'll kill you.
Well, it's in Alaska, so I mean, I don't. The populations are very small, but I'm more so concerned with is it sending radio waves and controlling our weather.
I mean, anything's possible today. Like look how far we've gotten over the years.
What do you think, Casey? What do you think about HARP controlling our weather?
Well, I believe more in the chemtrails, which is the exact same thing. It's just weather modification.
Now, what are chemtrails?
They are planes that go in the air and they spew chemicals, aluminum, little tiny pieces of aluminum. Now they've said this is what they've been doing.
Now, is that the
That's-
trail that you see when a plane goes by really high?
Sometimes
That's a
you
chemtrail?
see like patterns. They go back and forth, crisscross,
So they're just nonstop dumping chemtrails.
constantly. Every morning.
Because some
you'll see it.
planes you see go by don't have a trail.
Well, that's those are normal planes. The ones that have the chemtrails are the ones that spray the stuff out, and the wind moves it out like this. The aluminum doesn't come down. It could take weeks.
I was
for
going
that
to
stuff
say,
to
how
come
does
down.
the aluminum with gravity? I mean, I know it's small particles.
It takes forever for it. It gets stuck up there.
because of small particles.
Yeah.
So what happens if
it floats
if
around? And it does it gets into everything, and so that's why they're saying that they're actually finding aluminum pieces in our water.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, if they do enough of it, then the aluminum could like stick together and float down. I can make a hat.
You can make a hat.
Make a hat,
Make a
make a pizza,
tinfoil.
make a tinfoil hat. I don't
There you
know.
go. Big conspiracy
So
nut.
the chemtrails, I have heard about chemtrails, and that they even say that chemtrails, the planes fly over the hurricane, and when they dump the chemtrails into the hurricane, it actually will adjust the direction of where the hurricane is going.
And that's scary right there.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if they can do that, why wouldn't they just send them all up north?
You got to think, not all of them are going to make it. Not all of them are going to go where they want them to. They're not perfect, but I think, and it could be all BS. Who knows? But are they controlling which direction the hurricanes are going? I don't know.
Well, look at Europe. Remember Europe during that big hurricane? Whatever his name, I don't remember anymore. But they were almost always accurate to where the hurricane was going.
So,
yeah, now it's all
it's their model. Their model is always more accurate than ours. It seems like. So the aluminum, what is the purpose of that in the chemtrails?
Well, they're saying it's to cool down the Earth because they're having layer problems up there, which means that they're actually trying to prevent hurricanes from actually happening. But we don't know what else it could be spraying up there too, and that could be a whole nother story right there. They could be messing up. So
they fully 100% admit it.
They won't say it, but there's so much evidence because pilots that are up in the air have been saying like, our
they've been kind of leaking it a little bit.
Yeah, well, the pilots said, you gotta wonder who's been doing it as far as the pilots. But we're talking about actual pilots that work for United Airlines. They see these planes coming by, and they're like, I don't know what they're doing up there, but we're not doing it.
So hurricanes. I was actually thinking this the other day. Excuse me for my mind being so deep in the ocean, but I was thinking about hurricanes, and the way they're formed is hot water, right? They're in warm water when they're formed. They're in warm water. If a hurricane was crossing over the Gulf of Mexico, it would amp up and become more powerful because of the water. The water's being warmer, the hurricane would be more powerful. So a lot of times the hurricanes that break up, they end up losing power is because of colder air or because of the colder water. And so that's just from my research. And I was actually thinking, so what if you actually took 7 million planes, okay, maybe not 7 million, but like 7,000 planes, cargo planes, packed with dried ice, and you dumped them into the eye of a hurricane, into the water, and you could cool that water down 5 to 10 degrees. Wouldn't the hurricane break up?
No.
Again, we don't know what that could do to the environment.
It could kill fish. It could do all kinds of sorts of things.
Yeah.
Well, I was also thinking liquid nitrogen. What about liquid nitrogen? Liquid nitrogen is so cold, if you dumped it into the ocean in the hurricane,
but
enough
again,
of it.
We could be killing fish.
Yeah. And real quick, anyone that's listening to this, by the way.
Yeah.
What's more important, 5,000 fish or 20 lives?
What's more important, an ecosystem that keeps us alive or a couple people?
I mean, they could just catch all the fish with a giant net right after they do it, and we can eat them. Fish fillets for everybody. McDonald's. Fish fillets for everybody.
Oh my god, if it was a fish fillet from McDonald's, I'd skip it.
I know. I don't think I've ever seen anybody even eat a fish fillet from McDonald's.
I don't think I have either. I mean, we're getting off topic here.
No, I
know, but it's like now I'm thinking about the McRib.
Yeah.
You know why the
McRib comes back.
Well, it's only available 2 months out of the year. You know why, right?
Why?
Because it takes 10 months for them to catch whatever kind of animals in the McRib.
I know, and I've never tried a McRib.
I don't want to. They used to serve them in high school and middle school all the time.
Yeah,
I know
but
we're off topic here.
That wasn't a McRib, though.
So we're talking about hurricanes and McRibs, boys.
I know. We jumped over to the McRib. I said we were getting very off topic.
So anyone that thinks that we're crazy about the chemtrails, tomorrow when you step outside, you're going to watch them play tic-tac-toe up there. And from now on, when someone mentioned it to me, now I look in the sky, I see it all the time.
There is a machine.
They are not hiding it. They are not hiding it.
I'm 100% with you.
And they're always the same way too. They literally it's like pattern. The same plane you'll see circle around, start spraying. So because when I used to go tanning outside, I noticed all the time, like, what the heck? So I took some binoculars and actually was able to locate one, but they move pretty quick when you're doing that. And you can actually see like they're not attached to the plane. Like it's not the motors.
There's a machine, and I'm not sure exactly where it's located, but I watched this machine. And it made a cloud. And this machine was huge. I'm talking, picture the biggest dump truck you've ever seen. Industrial, yellow, dump truck, massive, skyscraper. That's how big this machine was. And it actually produced a white, fluffy cloud that rose up to the top of the sky. And 30 minutes later, that cloud rained.
Yep.
That's the most mind-blowing thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But I would think, especially things we don't know about, they've had this technology and have better technology.
I think they are controlling the weather, but to what extent, I have no idea.
I think they openly admit that.
I guess when it starts snowing in Florida every day down
Well,
here, I mean, it has snowed in Florida, but not down here at the Gulf area where we're located. But once it starts, I guess.
I don't know about you, but if it ever snows down here, I'm taking the day off.
Right. No, me
Because
too.
I want to go build a snowman.
I want to
in
make
Florida.
snow angels. Absolutely. Snowball fights.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm going right for the neighbors.
Meanwhile, wearing aluminum suits from all the chemtrails.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look that up now.
Eating fish fillets.
It's true.
Eating the
And now he won't be able to
The
sleep at night. He
McChicken
starts
fish
looking at
fillets.
chemtrails. He's thinking about
That is not fish. There's no way it's
There's
fish.
not for how
There's
much,
no
how,
way.
How much do they charge?
What is it,
It's like-
minnows? There's no way that's real fish.
Yeah.
No, I think it's.
I don't know.
I think
It
it's.
could be
I,
tuna
it's,
or
it's the
minnows.
after parts. Like that's something we should.
The thing that scares me the most with McDonald's is like you could leave it outside for like a year and it looks exactly the same a year later.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a
That's
bunch
not
of-
good.
No,
that's
bacteria,
not good.
Bacteria won't have nothing to do with that.
They
But
won't
if
even
you
eat
put
it.
fruit, they will. So you
No.
want to eat whatever, bacteria wants to eat. That's the same thing with GMO and organic food.
Right.
There's a difference. That animals will prefer organic.
Well, when was the
over
last time
GMO.
you could get, meat, real meat, and you got everything on it from the hamburger, and it was $1.
Anything that costs $1 is probably not good for you. I don't care if it's stripper, if it's anything that costs $1.
$1 stripper.
No, anything that's $1 is not probably the best for you.
Well, I was about to say, look at
Unless
the,
it's
look at
banana,
the dollar
but
store.
even then.
The dollar store, everything's $1. You have kind of nice things there, but then there's the headphones that are $1.
Well, you're
that are
gonna have-
like send a
right,
shock to
you're
your
gonna
ear.
have-
Like you got to be real careful on what you buy.
Which is so surprising. Like that actually brings up a whole other topic. Like I almost wonder. So if you went to stuff that's made at the dollar store, you can tell it's made from a lower quality than stuff made at Walmart. So it makes me wonder, like, and it's all from China. So is there like two different factories next to each other, full of little kids who are making this stuff, right? And it's like one factory's making the real cheap stuff, and the other factory's making the cheap stuff, but Walmart cheap stuff.
Well, it makes me think of like.
Is
Now,
there just different levels
Do you know?
of?
Do you know the store brand chips? They say that a lot of them are like Lay's chips that didn't make it, so they give them to the other companies.
Right, they give them to the other companies, and then that's what the store brand chips are, whether
Yeah.
it's Archer or correct. Right, I'm with you.
So like maybe it's kind of the same thing. Like it's the one that they kind of
The children who are bad in school, the parents
Yeah.
who messed up on the kids, they have to work at the shitty factory.
I wasn't going in that direction at all.
I know. Well, where are you going? Where are you
No,
going?
I'm just saying like they screw up somewhere on it that they're putting the wire in or something, and it's screw it, and they throw it in a container and they finish putting it with all the crappy stuff.
And so those all go to dollar stores.
Those all go to the dollar stores.
And see, I was taking it all the little kids who were troublemakers had to work in the cheap facility.
Yeah, I know you went.
And that's why they do
I'm
a
sure
half-ass
their
job
school-
because it's the dollar store. It's cheaper.
No,
They don't
it's
care.
not. It's not. I mean, they put it together. It's not like one headphone's over here and then one's down by your foot,
Right.
and then the microphone is over
Right,
by
right.
your other ear. I mean, they're still putting them together.
Right, when you go to the dollar store, they're not going to
you're
have
not expecting high quality.
a half a product, right?
Yeah.
But you're not expecting the highest quality.
No, I expect
But
to
neither
plug-
at Walmart. I mean, Walmart's quality stuff is not very good. I mean, everything's made in China. Everything.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
I mean, you're gonna find that anyway, though. I mean, most of the products, like a car or headphones, like Beats headphones and stuff like that. Not that I know for Beats for sure. Don't quote me on this. But they're always made. I've never seen made in America on anything that's high priced.
I just don't know how they're making profit sometimes. Having to open up these big stores and they can just do the dollar amount. I mean, they must be paying pennies. But it's like,
They are.
and the fact is, I mean, what are they paying their workers that are making the dollar stuff? Maybe they're paying them nothing. They could just be paying them a meal. So
No,
Maybe they're paying them fish fillets.
you
You get a fish fillet, and you get a fish fillet, and you get a fish fillet.
Well, dude, have you ever noticed that? I swear, every time I look at a dollar store, there really is like a McDonald's right in front of it, or right next to it. The one over on the street over here,
Right.
I'm not going to say streets, but there's one right across the street.
Yeah, well, it's everywhere. Absolutely. Every time there's a Dollar Tree, there's a McDonald's.
well,
And
it's low
absolutely.
income food. It's for low income families. The food,
Yo, don't diss on the Dollar Tree. I like the Dollar Tree. I can get some good stuff there.
well, I hate to say it, but are you?
But the quality of the product,
Yeah, you know
the
there's
point
certain
of- the
things
point
you
of the
can't
thing-
buy.
Right, it's definitely less. But
You don't buy clothing there. You don't buy. You're not hoping to find a big bottle of toddy.
No, I don't go Rolex shopping at the dollar store.
Exactly.
Never owned a Rolex.
Like
in my life.
you know the headphones in there are not going to be the best. You're not going to be like,
No.
I can't wait to hear the bass.
I can't wait. I returned them. They only lasted 6 months. Right, of course. You're lucky if they lasted a week.
You're lucky they lasted out of the box.
No, they
Right.
sound crappy. I bought some from a convenience store. Never again. It was like meow meow meow, and that was
That sounds like there was a bird inside of it.
yeah, and that was actually a cool rap song.
No idea where you're going with that. Anyways,
I know,
guys,
Well, I'm
it's
just
been
saying-
so fun having everybody. Tune in next week for the Alex Wilson Show. Thank you so much, Ryan Sinclair. Thank you so much, Casey.
And leave a comment too if there's anything.
And
that you
subscribe,
want to do.
like.
Thank you for having me.
Yep, absolutely.
Hit
Thank
that
you.
like button and subscribe, and make sure you turn your notifications on. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your night.